Welcome back to PrintQuest 3D, and kind of going to have a few views. My cameras really aren't set up correctly, but got this little hand camera that I'm going to use. What I did was I went into FreeCAD and I made a simple cone drawing. Ultimately, I want to make like a Christmas tree that lights up using little tea lights. Here's kind of what the tea light looks like. It's got a little on off on the bottom here, and it lights up and it flickers. And these are really kind of cool to use. Or you can also buy little LED light strips like this here. And I just got this at my local Menards. They had a bunch of these. I think I paid $1.99 for this. It was on sale. And I think that you can, I think there's some tutorials on YouTube that show you how to cut these strips and piece them back together so you can make your own length. But you'd have to look that up yourself. So anyway, so what I did was I went into FreeCAD, I made this drawing, and there it is. It's just a little cone shape on the. You can't really see it. I'm gonna record it on this. See if it'll even show up. So it's right here, little cone shape. Takes about 18 minutes. I don't even know if it's going to even work. So anyway, I have a few cameras that I set up. I don't have everything totally set up. So the other day, I bought some different filament, and what I wanted to demonstrate is how to get this kind of set up. So I think I'm going to use the, well, here, let me show you in the camera here. This is the Sunlu brand, SNLU. Yeah, SUNLU. I can't spell. You can even see that. All the bright lights that I have. I don't have anything really set up that well. Kind of control my lighting system here. Anyway. So, and then for my system here, this is the Centauri Carbon, obviously. And I got a new door. I'll order the door because it comes in a, when you get the actual system, these doors don't really open that wide. I still haven't printed, well, I printed it out, but I haven't put it together yet. It's the new door system where the door only opens up to about like this. But with these, when you add them on as a modification, they end up letting the door open all the way up. But I have some cameras system that I'm trying to work out that I haven't quite gotten to. I can't seem to find it here, but I'll use the top as an example. See how it's really kind of tinted? Well, that's the way the door is. Also, it's really tinted, so you can't really set a camera up. So what I did was I went online and I found a place that actually prints your top cover and your door in a clear. The only thing that's kind of bad about it is I haven't fixed the door latch yet. It didn't really make it to fit very well, or actually to attach very well. we kind of need to figure something out with that. Anyway, so what I did was I went on FreeCAD and I drew this up, and I made it into a mesh. From there, I exported it and I put it in my slicer. And since this is brand new filament, I've never used this stuff before, but it's a PLA. It's supposed to be a translucent PLA, or transparent. I call it translucent, transparent. And it's kind of came in a smaller, I'm not used to this. It kind of surprised me because it came in 4 different colors. So the effect I'm trying to make is to be able to build stuff that you can use your LED lights to light up your objects. So there's an orange, and there's the blue, and a red, which I think might be kind of cool. Got Christmas coming up. And then obviously you got your just white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it in the white, and I'm going to show you how to actually take off your so if you've already got another filament in there, you want to change your filament, or even how to load a filament. So we're going to go through those steps. So we're going to go down to our settings for extruder. We're going to click on unload on the extruder. The nozzle is going to heat up, and it's going to kind of walk you basically step by step. So it tells you the nozzle's heating at this moment. I'm going to open this up. And I'll grab this other camera here so you can get a better picture on this. So basically it's going to heaten up. Mine's a little dirty, but you got to do some maintenance. And then I'm going to take this cover off the top, set it down to the side here for a second, get a better view here. So they're going to ask you to cut the filament, and there's a little cutter right here. You just give it a push, and it cuts the filament. Looks like it didn't do much. So you just push this little button right here. It'll cut the filament. Well, there goes that. That thing's not working very. So it tells me to cut the filament, and then must have did it while I was talking because I'm a long-winded talker. So I'm just going to pull this out. It says unload the filament. So I'm pulling out the old filament. I kind of want to make sure that that it doesn't unwind too bad. I'm just going to take it off over here. So I was using this. This is a metallic blue. It's a PLA. That's by Elegoo. Works pretty good. So the next step I'm going to do is I want to load up this one, which is a transparent. I'm going to cut this open. It's my little trusty thing to be careful when you're opening these things. So it's vacuum sealed. Each one of these is vacuum sealed. All right. And since I'm not very good at the FreeCAD yet, this is kind of experimental. So comes with a little desiccant, keeps it dry. Throw that down below. And usually what they do is they have a little starter spot. Just kind of pull it out. And just like this. And like I said, I usually load this way. I see from pictures on the Centauri Carbon, the LED website, they load them this way, but I prefer this way. And what I'll do is get rid of these kinks right here. I'll cut this so it's straight. And I just use some regular pliers to cut that. Off to the side. Find it again. There it is. I'll put it on the spool, and then I'll push the. Now that you got to load and unload, you can't really see it on here. My other camera's not working. Keeps turning off and on. But anyway, so you push the load button. It says nozzle heating. And it's going up to 250 degrees Celsius. Hey, over here. Now it has 4 steps. So nozzle heating, load the filament, grab the filament. I don't usually grab the filament. Usually works quite well by itself. And I'm just waiting for the nozzle to heat up. So what I usually also do is I'll keep this lid cover on. But I just wanted to get a picture of there's a little button back here that you press to cut the filament when you're doing. So now it's telling me to load the filament. So we're going to push it all the way up through this tubing until it reaches the actual nozzle. Then you'll feel it hit the nozzle, and I just kind of push a little bit. And then you'll feel it take off. So, and then it'll ask kind of reminder if the filament is extruded, click the completed. So it's completed. Then we're going to go back up to our file system, and I'm going to kind of wipe this bed off. I haven't used this in a few days. I've been busy trying to work on some projects and do videos, things like that. And I'm going to probably leave this open. It's a lot easier to see the print happening. I'll probably scoot this forward. So let's scoot this up so you get a better look at it. So this first print, I don't even know if this is even going to work, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to press on the print that I want, And I'm also going to level the bed since I haven't used this. And I also have my time-lapse photography. There's a little camera up here in the corner that does time-lapse photography that you can download. And then it'll ask you what kind of textured build plate, A or B. And then I'll just push print. And we'll see what happens. So it's always good to level your bed first. Uh, I would recommend maybe, I don't know, every 10 prints or so if you're printing a lot during the day, or at least once a day. And that way you know that you're going to be good to go, or at least a better chance for your print to actually work correctly. So we'll speed up through this, so you don't have to sit here and watch all this. So basically what it's doing is it's going through each part of the bed and it's testing the clearance. You can see the bar here, the XY or XZ, XY, I can't remember. Goes up and down, but right inside here, you're supposed to have this stuff. It's called it's a silicone lubricating grease, and that's where part of your maintenance is going to be at, is maintaining so that it's lubricated. And there's 4 of them. Actually, there's 3 of them. Okay, I thought there was 4. So there's 3 of them that actually uh, help the bed go up and down, and you'll lubricate right in there or right in here. So if you have it all the way up, you want to put it at the bottom, and then bring it back down. Or if it's at the bottom, you want to put it on the top side and then bring it up. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. I'm probably talking really loud into that. Well, it kind of seems to be printing. The translucent is kind of hard to see. Well, we'll see what happens. I put it at about 210 degrees with the 60 degrees for the heated bed here. So this bed right here will heat up. It'll constantly stay around the 60-degree mark. And then the nozzle is up to 320 or actually it's 310 for a PLA. And now it's going to make the cone itself. So what I did was I gave it an outer brim only, so that I could keep the center of this without any interior, so I could put that little tea light on the inside. So it seems to be working fairly well. I don't know. Kind of surprised, to be honest with you. So it should make a cone shape, and then we'll put the little tea light in there and see how it looks. And I did add some extra lighting to this. The Elegoo really needs to work on some of their stuff, such as their camera system and their lighting system. Is really kind of, it's only a $300, $300 or $400 unit, so you can't expect whole heck of a lot. But as far as printing is concerned, just a little bit of testing and a little bit of hope. Now, one of the things I did learn in FreeCAD is you can actually set in your mesh, before you set the mesh, is uh, how fine you want it. So they have like 4 or 5 different settings that you can do before you export it out. And you can set it up a little bit better than what it was. And I thought I made this thing a little bigger, but I don't know, 50 millimeters. I wonder if that T-light's even going to fit in there. Oh well, never mind. You can see it kind of moves around a little bit, so that's why we have the stabilization. But one other tip is that when you have new filament or whatever you get in, if you're not going to use it, just keep it in the vacuum sealed package that it comes in until you're actually going to use it. So that multicolor light strip that I showed you a bit earlier is what I'm going to be using for the circular wall, I don't know, art, I guess. I'm going to call it art. And that's why I bought the translucent uh, filament, to be honest with you. But when I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll make a video. So as you can see, you kind of see the layer lines that are going on here. I'm just building it up one by one. I don't want to get my fingers in there too much, but you can kind of see them a little bit. Normally I don't print like this. I don't have the door open or anything like that. I usually have the door closed. But this is just a demonstration, and if it messes up, it messes up. So film it in there. Just suck it out of there. Boom. There it is. So maybe get like one of those little shop vac type things, a little handheld one. Then you can pick up all your extra filament that ends up falling down to the bottom here. Get it out of the way easier. So when I put this in the slicer, just to let you know, I think I may have goofed up when I did the top of the cone. So it ended up having like a little space at the top of it. And it probably won't print that part. It probably won't print all the way to the very top of this cone. But I'm not too worried about it. I just wanted to see if it would work. See. Better picture of it. There we go. A little bit better picture. I didn't realize how bright those little add-on lights are. They can go different. Kind of make it funky, psychedelic. A little bit of red, a little bit of green. So after this is done, I'll kind of show you a little bit on the extruder and that little glass nozzle. So it's saying it's about 80% done. So another 6 minutes, probably less than that. kind of nice too if you learn the FreeCAD or you already know the FreeCAD or you know someone that could use this kind of stuff. It's kind of nice to make your own, your own stuff, your own items. And if you want to open up, your own print shop or what have you, uh, there's always that option. We call it prototyping, so you can maybe sell it to a business or something. They do a lot of prototyping of different things. They might already have drawings already done, and you can say, "Hey, I can make you a prototype. You know, I charge X amount of money per hour, blah blah blah." I don't know, general ideas. We're about 87% now. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be running right. Let's see if we can get this extruder going. Yeah, I think now it's messing up. Oh, I could be wrong. You see, I gave it a little push there, and it kind of really hard to tell. I just let it go through the whole dang thing. I was at 92%. Closer. $95. Getting closer. You know, right now it says 0 hours, 0 minutes, so it's, you know, it's not exactly perfect, but as far as the time is concerned, but it's pretty close. And there it is. So there's our little cone shape. You can see I kind of messed up on this part right up here. That really doesn't belong. I'll just pull that sucker off. So it says print completed, and you can confirm it. And I actually did make a, using the camera inside the system here. It's right up here in this corner, right over here. And what we're going to do is we are going to kind of look at this just a little bit. It seems a little, sometimes you might pull this. This is our little starter piece here that comes across here, and then it comes down to here. You saw that obviously in the video, but it leaves a little, so it starts a little strip, so that I think that you get a clean start once it starts going. So right here, you can't really see it in the video, but there's a little bit of an outer brim that it basically starts off with. And usually what will happen is, I'm going to try to, okay, so kind of popped off, and you see the outer brim right there. So this little piece right here is the outer brim that I'm pulling off. And oh, there's some flaws in it. It's probably because I had it open. There's a little bit of flawing to it. And you always have this right here, the seam. I don't think you can ever get rid of that seam. You can always put it to the back. But it did a pretty good job. I mean, it's the first time I've printed with this stuff, but you can see it's translucent. And let's see if we can get that little tea light on there. I'm going to turn off the interior, and we'll put it right inside there. Well, it kind of fits. Turn it on, set it there, and then that's kind of the idea behind it. It doesn't quite fit. It needs to be bigger, obviously, but you know, it could be a Christmas ornament or a Christmas decoration. You know, kind of unique, but obviously you need to make it a little bit bigger than what I did, or have a smaller light. But this is just a work in progress, you know. So what it did was that basically I hollowed it out when I did it in the FreeCAD. Yeah, there are some blemishes on this, but it didn't do too bad. I mean, I was expecting it to not even print because I've never used this stuff before. And this is, so what I did was when I made this wall right here all the way up is 2 millimeters thick. I may have to go to like a 3 mil or 4 mil. And then this is supposed to be 50. I left my calipers upstairs. But anyway, so that's a little Christmas tree idea, even though it's not really a Christmas tree. I was trying to add grooves and stuff, like if you ever seen those flower plants that got the grooves that go, I don't know, sideways or all the way up to the top, spiral. And a spiral around. I still haven't figured that out yet. I'm still learning. But let me see if I can turn the light off. Yeah, you can kind of see it a little better. Look a little closer. Don't look too bad. No. This way. Maybe if you can get a little bit bigger, it might have a better effect. That's the general idea. So anyway, turn that off. Set that to the side, and then we're going to look at the head system here real quick. Pull it out. Kind of be careful doing that. Move it off to the center. Take this top lid off. So basically, this is the cutter over here. So this will actually cut your filament. And then if you, so at the bottom here, if you pull, comes right off. And then there's a little connection right here. This is your fan. It's your fan system. Helps cool, keep things cool. And then there's your brass nozzle right down here. And this is your whole system right in here. And you can disconnect this right here. Just be careful when you do it. So it just comes right off as I drop it and break it. Yeah, that was fun. And then, so you just take these, there's two screws right here. If you remove those two screws, this whole unit will come out. And you can change that whole unit if you want to. Or you can, this piece right here will actually, after you remove this, there's two connectors back behind this, and they're kind of a pain in the butt. I would use tweezers to get them out and put them back in. And then let's get this thing back on before I really break stuff. Sorry. So just connect it back together. Kind of put it back inside here. And then there's two little hinges there. You just put it right on and it snaps right into place if you want to. And then there's a little, it's like carpeting, and it will take off the end of the nozzle. It'll take any excess off of there. And then you have your other. So yeah, so I don't think I'm needed a cleaning here. It's kind of greasy and dirty in there. So that'll probably be my next video down the road. So there's a little poop chute down here, right next to the little carpet cleaner, as I call it. And then there's a little notch right here that this runs across and it catches any excess, and then it'll run across that carpet cleaner, so to speak. I call it carpet cleaner. But anyway, and that's about it for today. Thank you for joining me. And I really appreciate you watching the video. And you have yourself a great day. So you just push this little button right here.